We are alive.
Are we live?
We're alive.
Hello, everybody. No, that's not how we do it. Hello, Will.
Hello, David.
Hello, everybody. And welcome to Common Descent. This is our 8-year anniversary live stream.
It's crazy.
8
Every
years.
year it feels more insane that we're at another year.
That it kept going.
And it's just the numbers. Eventually the numbers are going to get scary big. And... But it's so exciting. We're almost 10.
Yeah, that's really what 8 is very close to 10. And
Yeah.
that feels very dramatic.
Like this is our last even number before 10.
That's
Like,
true.
We've only got an odd number between us and 10.
It's coming up. Listeners, hop in the comments, the chat on the YouTube thing there, and let us know that you can see us and hear us okay as usual, because we are never confident
Because
in
we're
the technology.
because
Because we're not video people, we're podcasters.
Yeah, and we're millennials, and we will always be a slightly fearful that
Yes.
technology isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing. We will always have a slight distrust of, is it actually working?
Absolutely. Look at all these people who are here.
Hi, everybody.
Stephanie's here, Nancy's here, Cauldron, Lagerstetten, N3, Ryan. Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. Nora's here. This is what has become now an annual tradition of doing an anniversary live stream. Last year, we did it for 5.
Yeah, because
5
Five.
felt big. We did it for 7 because we had a bunch of things to announce. And we're doing it for 8 because A, super fun, but also we have a bunch of things to announce.
and it's just a nice way to kind of start the year. Like, we do the Q&A at the end of the year and get to celebrate with everyone's questions and get to read all the nice things people say. And then the beginning of the year, it's kind of nice to just do a, hey, we're back from break, and what are we going to do this year?
Absolutely. So, for those who are interested in the dates of things, the official 8-year birthday of the podcast was 3 days ago, the 28th. 4 days ago? A few days ago. On January 28th was the day that we released the first episode on YouTube. Before we even started hosting on Podbean. It has been 8 years. 2024, as we have been discussing throughout the last year, has been a super exciting year for the podcast.
Yeah.
We've made a lot of cool new things. There's a lot of very exciting stuff.
It was very much a landmark year. Things are notably different after 2024, which is cool.
Oh my goodness, there's more people in here saying hello. Hello, Ava. Hello, Garrick and Kayleen. Hello to Susan and Nicholas and Caleb. Caleb says if your podcast was a human, you would be a 3rd grader.
Yeah.
That's
Right?
a third. That's well on the way to a proper human.
Oh yeah, like that is an elementary schooler full on. That is
8. Yeah, great stuff. We've got some announcements that we're gonna make, but we'll do some chit chat and stuff first. Let people sort of pop into the comments and the chat here. We are hopeful that we'll get. I'm gonna do a little refresh and check our numbers. And see how many people are showing up. We are broken 30 already, which is very exciting and fun.
yeah. Awesome. Thank you all for showing up.
It's good stuff. Oh, when I refresh it, an ad plays. It's fine.
The cost of knowledge.
I'm not listening to. I'm not watching it anyway. Yeah, I'm trying to think of if there's any other banter before we want to get into the meaty stuff.
I mean, we can talk a little bit about the year we're leaving behind.
Oh, sure.
Because I mean, most people are going to be aware of these things, but like, we became a business.
Our business, Common Descent, is officially a business now,
and we're like done with this. Like, I have like one form that I'm waiting for us to get that I've already applied for, but like, we've done all the things. Like, we've got our business bank account, we've got our business account stuff, accountant stuff set up.
We're on payroll.
Yeah, we are fully done becoming a business, which is also so satisfying.
Yes. Business stuff is very intimidating.
Yes.
We got to deal with all the tax stuff and all the forms and things. And it's the kind of thing where if you do something wrong, maybe the government's going to come yell at you
Yeah,
about
exactly. Like you could actually get into some
it. Yeah,
legitimate trouble.
exactly.
Well, and it was an intimidating thing for so long for us because like we've had the topic of becoming a business for years that we've like eventually we're going to need to do that. I don't know how to do it, and I'm not confident, nor do I want to learn how to make that happen myself as our finances guy. So the fact that it's now said and done is just like all these, it's not like one big weight, but like all these little weights just off my shoulders.
Yes.
And it's like, we did it. We're done. Now we just have to keep doing it.
Well, and beyond that, we also have been exploring more ideas for the future of the podcast. Things feel a bit more stable and a bit more secure for moving forward. We did a whole bunch of collaboration last year through
so
Spotlight,
nice.
which was awesome. We had guests come on Spotlight. We were guests on other shows. Our most recent guest appearance, which hasn't been announced yet because it comes out on the next episode, is on a podcast called Gaming with Science. Two folks, Brian and Jason, who we met at DragonCon, came up here to Tennessee to play Holotype with us, and then we recorded a chat about it, and that is out now.
Yes.
So we did our Australia live stream with Adele, so we're really sort of the 2024 has really been a year that feels like we are expanding what the podcast can do.
Yep.
And 2025 is going to be a year where we are expanding, I think, what Common Descent is.
Yes.
Which is a very exciting place to be.
Well, and it's been very nice with all the collaborations and like Dragon Con going so well of it very much feels like the last vestiges of our imposter syndrome that have just kind of faded away this last year.
Now we're going to upgrade to level 2 imposter syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're going to have business imposter syndrome of interacting with other LLCs and other businesses. I saw someone in here mention they had their own LLC.
Oh yeah, Brendan says, got my own LLC. Congratulations.
And so like now, it'll be that thing of like, well, we only just started paying payroll. I don't even know.
Caleb says, if I see that you purchased a yacht with our donations, I will have questions. We're not going to purchase it with your... We're gonna funnel that through an offshore account or something. Obviously. Imposter syndrome for rich people.
You know what will be the next thing that truly gives imposter syndrome is if we get an employee.
Oh sure.
If we hire someone,
actually expand.
I'm gonna have to fight the urge to apologize to them constantly. Of like, thank you so much for working with us. I'm sorry that we're such a baby.
Yeah, so sorry. I'm so sorry that we don't know what we're
you're
doing.
working for third graders.
This has happened in the last year, especially because we talk. I mean, this is the most obvious place where this shows up is in the Spotlight series, which I've seen already a couple people saying. Who said it? Lagerstetten said, "Can I just say how much I love the Spotlight series?
So much fun."
Emmett says Spotlight is amazing. We had so much fun doing Spotlight. Mackenzie says as long as the yacht is used for marine biology purposes, there we go. You're going to be the first person we hire. You're going to be the one. You're our PR manager. It really came through in the Spotlight series and in talking with other podcasters over the course of last year that we kept having these moments where people would would ask us questions.
Yep.
They'd be like, so as a successful podcast, and we'd go, because I don't know what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had a conversation with a professional podcast producer.
Yep.
To sort of talk about logistics and stuff. And I was like, okay, I want to make sure this question. And every answer was something that I basically had already figured out.
Mm-hmm.
There were a few things that I was like, okay, that's good perspective. But it was shocking to discover how much expertise we have almost accidentally built up just by doing this for so long.
Yep. There is very legitimate weight to just having done something for a bit. So like, because I'll see people will say that in our comments every now and then of like, I am a tour guide or I do education at this place, and they'll then preface it with like, I'm not a real scientist. And it's like, well, I mean, but you're a science educator,
Right.
like, and if you've been doing it for a chunk of time, there's no reason you would be. We should assume you're any less prepared or have earned your position.
That I often like to remind people, neither one of us has formal training in science communication.
Mm-mm.
Like I've never taken a class in science communication. I've never been taught how to do it. We just have done it for so long that you end up with that experiential expertise.
It comes up when I'm tutoring every now and then, where the kids will be like, well, you're a teacher. I'm like, nope, I'm not. I don't have a teaching degree. I can't be a teacher. I'm a tutor.
Let's see what else. So Los Mackenzie says, your podcast is older than my cat. Very fun.
Neat.
Kayleen says, I like your Snape clip. Thank you. It is also Year of the Snake.
Yeah, it is.
2025. It's going to be a good one. Who else? Bagel Edits says, happy anniversary. Sarah Grace, congratulations. Thank you very much, Sarah Grace. There were some other ones.
We also just got a donation from Cole.
Oh, we did. Cole, thank you so much for your donation.
Thank you very much.
Holy cow. I was scrolled all the way up. Garrick says, we know too much about orcas to get a yacht. That's true.
Right? Right? I'd want, if I were to get a ridiculous boat all of a sudden, I'd want it to be like something more akin to the Sea Shepherd, but like I want to lead the orcas to yachts.
Right. Yeah.
Like make it. I'm gonna
like pipe, the Pied Piper, but you're.
I'm gonna do Captain Nemo, and I'll make a submarine that looks like an orca, and
then
lead them.
Ryan asked. Oh boy, where was it? These are going by real fast. The podcast, Vangul Science Seance, Stephanie says, the podcast has been a great listen while I work on a huge animal tree of life cross-stitch project.
Ooh, that sounds awesome. Definitely share pictures when you finish that, because that'd be great.
Spoonfed Pig says, I've taken to wearing a dead fish on my head. But you gotta fit in. You gotta make sure that they know you're one of them. Ava says, if you buy a yacht, be smart and buy a bigger boat. Funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dr. Nanjo has also given us a donation. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
That's super great. Ryan asked, have you hit the supposedly magical number of 10,000 hours of podcasting experience?
Ooh.
So I brought up our runtimes document. We have, well, no.
Yeah.
So our total released, like published, this is probably almost up to date. Our total published everything, main episodes, bonuses, Patreon content, is just over 700 hours of content.
So we're creeping up on 1,000.
We've worked a lot more than that.
Yes.
I think the work that goes into it is significantly more than that. But I don't know that we've quite hit 10,000. Now, between the two of us, we have almost certainly hit 10,000.
I was about to say, yeah, probably.
So by our powers combined, we are, yes, we are an expert together. Well, fantastic. Oh my goodness. Listeners, would you like to hear some announcements about things that are coming up in the near future? We've got last year we did our 7-year anniversary live stream. We had like a couple of major announcements.
Yes.
We have I had to make a list so that I remembered to say everything.
We got lots of plans.
We have a lot of cool stuff to announce. We're going to leave the most exciting stuff till the end, but we'll start with some pretty exciting stuff. Sophie says, hi from Manchester, UK. Doing my dissertation on Smilodon. Ooh. Very cool. Excellent. Nice. Caleb, I've appreciated the combination of paleontology nerdiness and sci-fi comics nerdiness. Jackie is here. We know you do, Jackie. Absolutely. Jackie's got a notebook and is going to write everything down. All right, let's begin. First with the run-of-the-mill stuff, the sort of basic things. The podcast continues on its normal schedule. Episode 210. That's another thing that happened in 2024 is that we hit 200
Yep.
and did a big old fungi extravaganza.
Which was so much fun.
So much fun. Shout out to all 1,000 people who requested that, and also a big shout out to Dr. Ali Baumgartner for doing an extra episode with us to help with that. Episode 210 comes out today.
Yep.
It will officially drop a few hours after the podcast. That'll be fun. A bunch of these announcements we will also mention on that episode. And then 2 weeks from now, episode 211 is our Darwin Day episode for the year.
Yeah.
And we do have a special guest. I said lined up is wrong because it's already recorded.
Yep.
We've already done it. I am thrilled.
And it was already a ton of fun.
It was. I was listening to the raw audio of it. That I would release.
Yep.
And it would be super fun. Very excited for our episode 211. I think everyone's going to really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. So that's really all that matters. Excellent. I'm also checking the comments as we go, so I'll bounce back and forth.
Ooh, Ichabod asked any hints on the upcoming Darwin Day episode, and I feel like we could say that it's kind of a sequel.
It's a little bit sequel-y, yeah.
Kinda.
It's a topic that I wasn't sure we would do.
Yes.
Because we want it to make sure that it's differentiated enough from previous discussions. So enjoy. There's your Dr. Nanjo guest Zombie Darwin. You got it. Got it in one. Ryan said, would you consider releasing the raw audio to patrons? No. Only because I know for a fact that there are some comments and jokes in there that we would not release for anybody to hear.
Well, and we've talked about that as like a general concept before of like that's something we could do is give the raw audio to Patreon.
Or do like a live recording.
Yeah. And the main hesitation we have there is just that the recording is a fairly long process, and either we'd have to still go in and edit out those things when they come up, or decide that we're gonna have some content that is not family friendly.
Right.
Or we have to be kind of in educator mode,
right?
Even in between while we're talking, which feels very exhausting to me.
Sure.
For all of our recordings.
And the raw audio for 211 is maybe the most chaotic raw recording that it's very and part of that is just because we were having a lot of fun, and part of that is because of the nature of our guest, who has just a whole energy and a lot to say, and it was super fun. So those are all of the things. Isabella, hello from Canada. Jackie, how good is David with episode numbers? When is the first time Darwin Day episode falls on a plant episode? So here's the thing, Jackie. Up until this year, the answer would have been never, because Darwin Day episodes happened only on even numbered episodes, and plants are on number 5. And it happens on even number episodes because we release 26 episodes a year, and it happened all the time. But you'll notice that this year, it's happening on an odd numbered episode. This is a thing that I spent so much time thinking about. Nobody cares but me. Because a year is more, the weeks is actually more. So Darwin Day has been creeping earlier and earlier every year in February. And this year I decided, let's bite the bullet. I don't like that phrase. Let's do it and just shift it. So because eventually we're doing Darwin Day episodes in January if we keep that schedule. So now, still not for a while, still not for several years, but great questions. Anyway, let's get to another announcement before we get too far off track. More things that are returning this year. We are officially going to be returning to ETS UConn in Johnson City, Tennessee at the end of March, and DragonCon in Atlanta, Georgia at the end of August, beginning of December. We will be doing panels and presentations as usual at both of those places. So if you're around at those conferences, conventions, come see us. A new thing that we're going to be doing this year is that we are planning to have museum meetups with fans.
Mm-hmm.
The weekend of ETS UConn, the last weekend in March, we are going to plan a meetup with fans at the Gray Fossil Site and Museum in Gray, Tennessee. The idea, the same weekend as ETS UConn, so people have multiple things to do. We'll hang out with fans, get to see the museum, get to hang out with us for a bit, and if all the schedules and plans work out, hopefully some behind the scenes things as well. And then if that goes well, we will see if we can set something up at the Fernbank Museum in Atlanta for DragonCon.
Yes.
That I'm very excited to try this out. At the moment, I have no idea like how many people might be able to show up for something like that.
Yeah, these are very trial runs just so that we can try this out and see how feasible it is, how much people like it, and if it's something that we want to try to expand into future meetups or future opportunities.
Yes, and that's why it is convenient to do the first one at the Gray Fossil Site, because I think I said this, like, if it turns out that 60 people show up and they all bring their kids, yeah, we could do that.
Yep.
We've done that at the Gray Fossil. We have handled groups like that personally at the Fossil Site. So whatever happens, we can manage it.
Yes.
And it'll be a good test run.
Yes.
And if these go well, we'll do more of them.
Yeah,
We'll
absolutely.
do more over time. Jackie has informed me that I said December instead of September for DragonCon. DragonCon is not in December. It is August into September. It's Labor Day weekend here in the U.S. So if you, dear listeners, are interested in coming to a meetup, let us know. We'll start putting out more details in the near future and get a sense of what the interest is in doing something like that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Spoonfed at Pig asked if our parents ever ask when they're going to get a real job. Mine do not. Mine are very happy with my job.
I also have not gotten that question, and I would ignore it if I did.
My family is aggressively supportive.
Isabella said, "I just noticed your nails. They're fabulous. Thank you. These were both colors were presents that I received for the holidays this year. Very excited about. There was something else that I wanted to. Okay, great. Excellent. Max is here. Hello, Max. Excellent. Dr. Nanjo said someday we'll see you out here on the left coast. Yeah, if the meetup stuff goes well at the easy locations, we can absolutely plan. I've had the idea for a long time of wanting to do like a Common Descent museum road trip or something, maybe as a spotlight series. And we've got tons of friends in California. So we could do a West Coast and hang out with our pals over there.
It would be tons of fun.
Yeah, there's opportunities. There's absolutely stuff. Aaron says I'll be up for a meetup at the Gray Fossils. I assumed so. Because the one person that I know, I was like, yes, that person goes to ETS UConn. All right, let's move on to the next announcement. This is another new thing, although less dramatic and exciting. Common Descent is officially now on Blue Sky. So you can find us on there. That I added the link to our link tree. Also, we got to put it on the website.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'll write that down somewhere. But we're on Blue Sky now. So you can come follow us on Blue Sky. That's a new space for us. Our Discord is hovering around 900 members these days. We're going to have to do something special for 1,000.
It's very... watching it grow has been so satisfying because it's lovely. Like, the community on there is just so delightful. And the fact that it's just trucking along is so great.
Some people may be wondering if we are planning to do anything different regarding Meta. We are currently on both Instagram and Facebook. We're not going to leave those platforms immediately because we have a bunch of people who follow us and engage with us on those platforms. But we are probably in the not too distant future going to start expanding our efforts on other places and scaling back our efforts on Instagram and Facebook, just to move into healthier, more stable spaces. So if you are someone who follows us on Instagram or Facebook, now's a great time to explore options like Blue Sky or Discord or YouTube. There will be more reasons to follow us on YouTube. That's foreshadowing for later things. So check all those out. Sarah Grace says, come to the McClung in Knoxville. Yes,
Ooh,
that's
yeah.
a Southeast Museum tour.
Super easy.
Piece of cake. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll do that from home. We just have to, that's a day's drive. That would be fantastic. Paleo Edit says, when is the Common Descent European tour? Someday. That and the Australian tour.
Someday.
Zelfia asks, do you have tips for visiting the Gray Fossil site if we can't make a meetup? Summertime on a weekday, because then they're digging outside and you get to see it. Also, get a tour. Get a paleo tour. The guides that are doing the tours there are great. There's a great lineup of tour guides there. Also, let us know if you're going to be at the Gray Fossil site, because if we're available, we'll stop by and we'll say hi.
Yes.
We did that with Danielle.
Yeah.
You got to do it with Danielle because I was out of town.
It was so much fun.
Excellent. Caleb says the European tour is why they will buy a yacht.
Yep. We'll do our own tour to different places.
Yes. Dr. Ninja said, can understand leaving Twitter ASAP. We left Twitter a while ago.
Yeah.
Twitter. So we're trying to be accessible while also being responsible.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we don't need to rush out, but we also don't want to continue to increase our efforts in those spaces necessarily.
Ryan says, in Australia, there's a total solar eclipse in Sydney in 2028. Noted.
Ooh.
We'll keep that in mind. All right, let's move on to our next announcement. Another new exciting thing that has happened. This is another one that's not new so much as it is returning. Starting right after this live stream, we will be releasing a listener survey for the first time in several years. I think the last time we did a survey was in like 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
The listener survey is a great opportunity for us to get a sense of who is listening, feedback from fans, some specific questions about where people are from, what particular series and topics people really enjoy. This will be really helpful for us in planning our future projects and expansions and collaborations and stuff, so that we know what will best connect with our audience. We spent a good bit of time putting together a short and manageable list of questions, and we're very excited to hear from people. So we encourage all of you who are fans of the show, who are dedicated listeners, which if you're here for the live stream, I assume that you're a dedicated listener. Come, please do it. I'll share the link in the thing right after as the live stream ends.
Yeah.
So people can get to it.
It's very nice when we can get those insights, not only from like a logistical standpoint and knowledge, but just also it's nice to get to ask questions that don't typically come up in comment sections or in discussions on Discord, and just get some more understanding and break down that barrier between us and the silent audience that podcasts struggle with so often.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of vocal audience like here in the comments. But yeah, most of our audience is very silent. Also, as part of the listener survey, we will be bringing back another thing that we have not done in so long that people have stopped asking for it. But they used to ask for it a whole bunch. The listener survey also includes the return of the Crocs versus Snakes poll. So our listeners will get the chance to vote once again, and we will have a rematch to see what the numbers come out looking like.
Don't let what year it is bias you.
It's year of the snake.
With your heart.
Vote
with your heart.
This is. There's only one option.
With your normal 4-chambered heart.
Only one of these animals is on the zodiac, because It's
You
better.
can't handle it to have the other one.
The Zodiac would crumble. It would collapse.
It would eat all the other things on
Yeah, no, it would. It would absolutely eat all the other
Tiger and Dragon are really the only ones.
Zelfia, how dare you? So we'll share the link to the survey with the poll on it after this. Moving on to another more of a logistical announcement. We are working on transcripts.
Yes.
For the pod. This has been Will's big project recently.
Yeah. We've been taking our episodes. We're using just Word auto transcribe, so these are not fully finished, but they will have timestamps. They will have our names. That's the one big reason we use that, is it denoted different speakers and made it easy to add our names in. So we're most of the way through getting them all done, so they won't be up right away, but we'll have those up on the site and links to a Google folder of them.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, they won't be perfect, but they're surprisingly good for an auto-generated thing.
And we do have plans to, once we get them done and linked up and everything, to eventually start slowly editing them, either with help or with maybe some other means to get them polished up.
We've toyed around with the idea of maybe getting volunteer assistance from the community to sort of edit and tidy up those transcripts. So we'll see what direction that ends up going. Transcripts has been a thing we've been talking about for a long time that has always has never really happened because it's such a big project.
Well, we didn't think of it.
We didn't do it from the start.
Yeah, we didn't do it from the start, and so by the time it really got to be an idea of, and we got like messages from people offering to help us, but by the time we got those and we're really thinking about it, we were already over 100 episodes in.
Right.
So it was the daunting thing of, if we were to hire someone to do it, you need to do 2 a month, and at minimum 3, so that you can slowly start working through our backlog.
Right.
And then you have to do that for forever.
Yes.
Because we don't plan to stop.
Even the cheapest even the most generous transcriber cost is going to be super expensive.
Well, especially because our episodes are long.
Our episodes are very long.
They're not just 10 minutes. They're a lot of typing that you'd have to do. So
we've struggled to figure out what is a affordable and time manageable way to do that, and this is what we've got working on for now.
So more to come on that, but we're excited to try to add another layer of accessibility to the podcast, because that's always been the one major hole that we don't cover with the podcast, is that it is strictly audio, which means people with hearing disabilities don't get to participate as much, or at least as easily. You have to rely on maybe the YouTube auto-generated ones, which are probably close, but you can't just read it. You have to
you have to really parse it.
Yeah. So this hopefully will be more convenient for some people.
A few people on here are already saying that they would volunteer to help out with that, which is lovely.
Good to know.
That is very good to know.
Yes.
If we have people who can do some of that, that would be super helpful for us. Petra, hello from Europe. My niece finally fell asleep, so I'm joining you with a slight delay. Hello.
Sweet dreams, niece.
Nora has asked if people have tried the closed captions on YouTube. That says YR. I assume that is meant to say YouTube.
You rude.
Yeah, they're fine. We've looked at. They're also Apple Podcasts. I think auto generates transcripts. So there are places out there that are doing auto generated transcripts. But hopefully this will make it a little bit easier for people.
Yes.
Excellent. Les McKenzie says YouTube auto captioning is terrible. Terrible for any technical concept.
Yeah.
That's another thing about our podcast, is that we've got a lot of like scientific terms and scientific names and stuff that can be tricky.
The word ones do pretty well, but they still will struggle with those a lot. It's usually, you can usually figure out when it's saying the scientific word, but it'll sometimes
Yes.
butcher it a bit.
So keep your eyes out for that. We'll be rolling those out in the not too distant future. Now, there are 3 announcements left to make, and as I promised, we have saved the most exciting ones for the end. In fact, these are so exciting that we have brought along some visual aids.
Yeah, we have.
This year, returning series and events. Croc and Snake Month, we will be doing again in June and July. We don't have the plans for that yet, but we'll be letting people know. As usual, the Croc and Snake tier will go up on Patreon. We'll make donations to conservation efforts. We'll do all the Croc and Snake Month stuff. Spooky will be returning in October. Don't have details for you on that, although it's gonna be good. Stay tuned for stuff about that. But before all that happens, in April, Silver Screen Science is coming back.
Yes.
Last year, we started the new pattern and tradition of putting Silver Screen Science at a particular time.
Yeah.
So that it is more consistent, so that we could do a little series. Last year, we did Sharks.
Yeah. Which was tons of fun.
Tons of fun. We talked about Meg 2. We talked about Deep Blue Sea, and we talked about Jaws. And 2 of those are awesome.
Yep, and boy, I know we said it in the more thoughts, but getting to do the Jaws episode for me personally was very akin to when we did the Jurassic Park. Of like,
yes,
I've had these thoughts in my head
for 20 years,
so long. Here, this is a very formative movie for me in a lot of ways.
But not only can we announce now that Silver Screen Science is coming back this year in April, we can share the theme.
Yeah, we can.
For this episode. Would you like to bring up our is it gonna auto?
No.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We could present to you.
It makes me, I feel like the comparison I keep making is Nintendo Direct.
Yes.
It's like, ooh, take a look at this, and now we've got this. All right, shall we reveal this year's theme?
Yes. It's Planet of the Apes, everybody.
I'm very excited.
I love these movies.
Oh, we get to watch it on our laggy playback here. Let's see how it looks. Oh, it's so smooth.
Yeah.
It worked great. That gives me a lot of hope for the upcoming stuff. Planet of the Apes has been requested quite a lot. A lot of people have suggested that we talk about Planet of the Apes. And this year is a great time to do it because much like Meg 2 came out the previous year and then we did Sharks, there was a Planet of the Apes movie last year.
Which was
it was awesome.
It was so much fun. I love that movie.
Now, some people may be wondering if that means we are doing a single movie, if we are doing every Planet of the Apes movie. Fortunately for us, Planet of the Apes has had 2 significant reboots / remakes.
Yes.
So we can do that.
Yep.
So we will talk about the original Planet of the Apes, which is awesome. We will talk about the new franchise, starting with Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which is super cool and also scientifically radically different from the original one. And we'll talk about, was it the 90s?
Yes.
The Tim Burton
one.
Planet of the Apes, which I haven't seen, but which Will assures me is also different enough that we can explore
very different
concepts.
And I that's one of those that falls into a category of like, what's the 98 Godzilla, where this movie is weird and it's got a lot to it that people aren't fans of, but there's also a lot of really fun stuff.
Yes.
I really like that movie. I enjoy it.
I've never seen it, and I'm excited to give it a shot.
I'm gonna have to get it because I found out my DVD case for it was empty. That I lost that one at some point.
Somebody stole it.
Because we watched some of the movies when the new one came out, and I was like,
yes,
we can also watch this one. So
that'll be super fun. We'll get to do it'll be really interesting to explore. This will be very similar, I think, to the Sharks theme, but also the Jurassic Park franchise.
It feels like it'll also be like Godzilla. we're gonna get to go through multiple iterations of it and King Kong, the same like core concept.
Yes. So just like last year, 3 episodes, 3 different movies, and their respective extended franchises to the extent that we can remember and think to talk about them.
Yes.
Mostly the more recent movies that will happen with.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
That's gonna be
we also get to watch them all again.
And then we get to watch Planet of the Apes, which I haven't watched the original in a while. I know you watched it not too long ago.
I haven't seen any of the sequels of the original, so we'll have to decide
Same,
how many we want to do of those.
Yeah.
I want to see some of those.
Mm-hmm. Great, excellent people there's a lot of people in here who are very excited. Excellent, good choice, can't wait. Yeah. Christopher says, guess I'm finally going to get around to watching these.
They're worth it.
Recommended.
They're worth it.
At least the original Planet of the Apes is great. Somehow all of the new Planet of the Apes franchise is awesome.
Like this has it makes me think of from Dogma, where they meet the Muse and she's like, I inspired the 4 of the top 5 grossing movies, and they went 4. It was, whoever made that one with the kid Home Alone, they sold their soul to the devil for that one. This has that feeling of like, how can you have done 4 movies in a row that are a reboot of an old concept that are truly, in my opinion, fantastic.
This has got early Pixar
vibes.
Like you just don't miss.
Someone really has a ley line.
There's a reel in someone's basement playing a worse and worse movie as time goes on. It's fueling
the movie of Dorian Gray.
Yeah.
It's just erupting in the basement. Oh,
excellent. So that's coming up. Keep an eye out for that. Also this year, we will be doing some new things.
Yes.
So we have another announcement to share, another little presentation that we've put together. This one, we're just going to let it run. Listeners, we're very excited. This is another thing that has come out of conversations and comments and suggestions from our audience. We hope you are also excited. Take a look at this. Now we have to wait for the lag to sink in and people
to start responding.
I'm so happy with this silly little graphic.
And this is so exciting.
This is very exciting. We will be releasing in the not too distant future. There's the responses coming in.
Yep.
A new podcast. Our first descendant.
Yes.
Of the podcast. Plans are in the works for a plants-centric series featuring Nora, who is there in the chat. Nora right there. Our patrons may recognize Nora. Nora has shown up a couple times on the patron live streams.
Yep.
Nora has been helping us behind the scenes with stuff for a long time, and Nora is also a plants enthusiast.
Yeah.
So, Nora will be joined by our favorite paleobotanist, Dr. Allie Baumgartner, for a series about plants. And we're so excited to be releasing this. We will be putting out a pilot episode in the not too distant future, and then a full season of this show. And then depending, based on how that goes, it will continue to grow and expand in the future.
Yeah. It's so exciting, both because, like, it feels like, even though the conversation hasn't been a long time, that this has been a long time coming in a way.
Yes.
Like it is such a logical next step that it just feels right. And it's been the energy's been so good.
Yes.
Like I'm so pumped.
We have done some trials of this. It's super fun. Los Mackenzie says, I was expecting that to say, leave it to Allie, and then I was crestfallen, and then I was pumped again. That's exactly what I was.
This is the roller coaster of emotion we wanted you to.
Like I said, I'm in full Nintendo Direct. I'm like, yes. I'm trying to channel Sakurai.
Yes.
Releasing announcements. Ryan asked, does this affect the 5 episodes for the main series? It won't, because the Leave It to Us is going to be a very different format.
Yeah.
We will still have Allie coming on to Common Descent as much as she is able to talk with us, to do our deep dives from the sort of paleontology perspective. But our goal is for Leave It to Us to be a different type of podcast.
Yes.
Different sort of angle. It's one of the reasons why we're not in it.
Yeah.
Right. This is giving other people the spotlight and the microphones. Nora, as host of this podcast, is going to do, already in trials, is doing an excellent job and brings a sort of vibe and a knowledge base to it that neither one of us would. And so, yes, this will exist in addition to our regularly scheduled Common Descent programming.
Yeah, I think you all very much enjoy it. It's a scratch that our podcast hasn't truly been able to fully itch until this, I think. So it'll be very good.
Absolutely. Yes, great. Excellent. The episode Caleb says the episode numbers for Leave It to Us will only be multiples of 5. Yes, that's all. Episode 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. That's all the episodes. Fantastic. Lexi says, have you recorded anything for it yet? What's the timeline here? We have done some test run and trial recordings. So the general idea, hopefully we will be putting out a pilot episode in the next month or so. And then the series itself, we hope to start, a month or a couple months after that. Yes. So if everything goes smoothly and according to plan, hopefully in the spring, we will be able to start rolling these things out.
Exciting.
Very exciting. Lexi also said, finally getting around to noticing Will's shirt.
Yeah. I love the shirt.
Lexi,
this was a gift from I believe Elizabeth.
I think that was I think so. Yeah. So good, so fun. Lexi, that is a very timely observation, because we have one more thing to announce, one more new upcoming descendant.
Yep.
Will.
I'm so excited for
take a look at this.
I'm so excited.
This is going to be our first video series.
Yeah, YouTube series.
Will, would you like to talk about Bricks with Bask?
Bricks with Bask is going to be purely on YouTube, and it is going to be a monthly series, where I will be selecting a random episode from our catalog that we've done in the past, and building a Lego set inspired by it, so that the video will be the recording of me designing the set in the program I use. And then after each episode, there will be links available to download instructions for that set if you want to build it yourself.
Yes.
And I've already done a few episodes. It's been so much fun.
The episodes that are already made are, I think one of the best things about them is that they are pure Will. It's so Will. It's talking about science. It's talking about cool concepts and ancient creatures. It's building Lego sets. It's so much fun. Now we've got comments coming in. Garrick says, did Will make that Bask model?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. I will put instructions up for that one on the site as well. I just now realized I should. I'll put those up.
Stephanie said my annual Q&A question was about Lego and what animal you would make. You're gonna see it. Will, when does the first episode of Bricks with Bask drop?
So usually the episodes are going to drop at the end of the month each month. This first one, since we're just past the end of last month, is going to drop as soon as this live stream ends.
Once the live stream is over, we will put the link out, make the episode live, and you can go watch the first episode. What's the first episode topic?
Geologic timeline, the geologic time scale, and it was a lot of fun. That one, very fun.
Yes, and what a cool starting point.
And that was truly the one I randomized, and I was like, yeah, of course that has to be the first one.
Yes.
It's perfect.
Absolutely. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully, go check it out. Let us know what you think. The thing with all of these new projects, these big two especially, is we're going to be trying out something new. We are very confident in the foundation and the premise of these projects.
Yes.
We're very excited to share them. And as always, we are open to feedback. So watch the first episode and future episodes of Bricks with Bask and share your thoughts. When Leave It to Us starts coming out, share your thoughts. Common Descent in all of its forms has always been built on what our audience tells us that they want. Our main episodes are requested topics. Spooky was an idea suggested by a patron originally. People have been we made the Leave It to Allie joke on episode 195, and then so many of our listeners responded and commented and were like, yeah, that would actually be awesome.
Yes.
So many of them did it that we started talking and went, well,
like, it was a fun idea.
It would be awesome.
And yeah, and once we kind of had the realization of it's doable, because so many cool ideas come around, but when we get enthusiastic response and then realize that it is something we can do, there's kind of no reason not to.
Yep.
And so many cool things have come from that it's really incredible.
2025 is a year, like I said at the beginning, where we are really expanding what the podcast is and what we can do with the podcast. Hopefully, this will allow us to reach a broader audience. People who, Leave It to Us and Bricks with Bask are both planned to be much shorter episodes. So people who don't want to listen to 2.5 hours, who are put off by that, or people who have trouble just listening to things and would rather watch something, people who want to hear about plants, or people who maybe aren't so into the paleontology and stuff, but would be excited about Lego and building and things like that.
Yes.
Hopefully we will be able to reach a wider audience. Hopefully this will open up opportunities for more collaboration in the future. Hopefully it'll also bring in more income to the podcast through advertising or just more patrons, more supporters, which will then allow us to do yet more things in the future. So that it's a very exciting time. We're trying to. I used to say that years ago, I would say, I don't think that the podcast as it is the final form of Common Descent.
Yeah.
And this year, we are really taking big steps towards what this whole thing looks like.
Yeah. And it's very sad. It's satisfying because we're getting to do cool things. Like, all of these things are so exciting and they're fun, and the outcome, the product, so to speak, that is coming from it is very, very satisfying, very enjoyable for us. Like just speaking purely from my standpoint, but also it is so encouraging to Spotlight was definitely last year was definitely a major step toward this, of proving to ourselves that it's doable and that it's an so it's very satisfying because the podcast is evolving and improving and growing, but also I feel the confidence I need to do more of that because every step proves that the next step is probably achievable, and that's nice.
Yes, absolutely. Caleb says now you just need to have the space podcast in 2026.
It'd be fun.
I'm not.
Yep.
Did you see the?
Yep, I sure did.
Also, bouncing off of Caleb's comment there are also plans for other new things in the future that we're not going to announce just yet. This is not the end of new stuff that we're going to be trying in the near future.
Yes.
We will not be going to space just yet. Common descent on the moon. Unfortunately, we already did a moon episode, so we really should have thought about that because now we're going to have to go to Venus.
Yep. Also, and we haven't set it up fully yet, but there'll be a Bricks with Bask section on the Discord.
Yes.
So
yeah. That there are a number of changes actually that we're going to make to the Discord. There's a few things to add on there. I plan to put the listener survey on there as its own channel, just so that you can go and click on it. We'll make a Bricks with Bask absolutely channel on there. When Leave It to Allie, or Leave It to Us, because there's more. There's not just Allie in it. When Leave It to Us gets started, we will make a section on the Discord for that as well. It's gonna be lots of cool stuff.
I appreciate Ryan you checking in. Said, "Are you sure that's something that you want to pursue? Do you even like Legos?" And I appreciate the concern. I am not being forced into this. This was my own choice.
Till you're 90.
It's on the box till 99. I can do that.
yes. Once you got another 60 years or so.
Once I hit a century, Bricks with Bask's over.
That's it. Bask can still do it. Will's gonna be out, but Bask can still do it for a little while. Listeners, your enthusiasm is very affirming and reassuring for us. We're very excited that you are all excited that you're showing us this great amount of emotion and response in the comments here.
It's delightful.
Thank you so much for showing up for this 8-year anniversary live stream. If there's more stuff you want to say or ask us, go ahead and put stuff in the comments. We'll hang out for a bit and chat before we officially wrap things up, which will be probably not too long from now, so that we don't go too far, and also because lunch has to happen.
Yes.
And there's an episode coming out later that we've got to put some finishing touches on. No, it's all pretty much all good to go. I did all the stuff. But we have to put the other stuff. So actually, that is the other thing I'm going to do before. Well, I'll do that in a second. Oh, that was it. Yes. Before we wrap up, Stephanie said that we. I got distracted. Garrick said, "What will Coil's counterpart show be? Crochet with Coil." Now, I don't crochet, and I'm not particularly interested in crocheting. Cooking, maybe we do a cooking show, and it's cooking with that would also have Nora in it.
Yeah.
That would be Nora teaching me how to cook. And we would do cooking with Coil. You have to stop. You have to stop giving us good ideas.
As we've always said, it's an almost more insidious than the good idea is the good name. Like, as a few people put in, Common Ascent was the name suggested for our space spinoff, and I hadn't forgotten. And the fact that that name exists means we kind of have to eventually do it.
Boil with Coil? Now, all right, so there's a whole bunch going on here. Lexi says video game live streams when? That, we got close to doing that.
Yeah.
And then it just, the timing, the inspiration, things didn't quite
the momentum
come together.
Fully carry through.
But that is something that we have considered. Now I did have the thought of Lego is like Will's super obsession, so it makes sense. If I were doing a thing like that, it would be Catching with Coil.
Yes.
And it would be a Pokemon series.
There you go. That's we have the equipment.
Stop it.
We have the equipment.
We do. Now we have the equipment in terms of, like, we can set up...
Capturing the video.
We can capture the video. We can do all that. Also, we have the equipment in the sense of every Pokemon game that there is.
Yep.
Except for Crystal.
Oh yeah.
Somewhere along the line, I lost my Crystal. So I have like a little baggie with all of the main series Pokemon games from, my childhood and my life. And Crystal, somewhere along the line, Crystal disappeared. So I don't have a Crystal version.
Huh.
I'm not going to play it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not a huge deal. So if you want to get me a great present, find me a Crystal. No, you don't have to send me a Crystal version. Oh my goodness. Caleb says you'll just need a Pokemonologist to join you. Covered. Lagerstein, yes, catch 'em all with Coil is the...
Catch 'em all with Coil.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Do a lot of
doing a whole bunch of stuff. Jackie says David's kryptonite is a good idea that he would be good at. Yeah, it sure is. Sarah Grace says you both need Lego figures of yourselves.
I have tried to find the correct ways to make a Lego version of myself, but Lego beards are very hit and miss. There's printed ones, which are fine and would work for you very well, but like, sure, mine's not a printed beard. Mine was sticking off my face.
Right. You need like a decal.
And they have beard pieces, but there's not one that actually fits well.
They need to make a Tormund Lego figure.
Exactly. Like,
and that would...
their beards are either old man beard, like Wizard, or they have the ones that they use for a lot of their country, where it's like...
Oh, like the... Yeah.
It comes out like this, like the chin beard. And so, like, the Santa beard they have, which is close, but they don't have it in my color. So, it's been one of my things I look at every now and then to go, are there any new beards? Any new city sets that have beards? So agreed. David, I can make David easy. They have braided hair.
Piece of cake. No problem.
And I've got figures with glasses, so we could throw that together.
Axel, you could make busts. Like a bust.
Yeah.
You could do Lego renditions of fan art that we like. That one fan art that I forget who did this, but with us, but it's a snake and a croc.
Yep.
Yeah. Very fun. Yeah, those are that was it. Stephanie said that we should do campaign speeches for crocs and snakes. Now, I don't have a plan to do that as a recording thing, but we do it right now. Well, 60 seconds.
So,
why should people vote for crocs?
A vote for crocs is a vote for some of the largest predators on our planet today. The largest legged predators. For animals that can come out of the water and walk around, crocodilians are the biggest meat eaters around today. They are a category of the food web that very few animals fill, and they have been filling it for over 100 million years. So if anything, I think they've earned your vote for their dedication to this way of life.
All right. Not bad. Year of the snake for a reason. Snakes. So simple a body, but from so humble a beginning, have diversified into just about every... They're in the ocean, they're in rivers and lakes, they're swimming, they're super venomous, they're hyper predatory, some of the biggest apex predators on the planet. They're also some of the tiny little worm things. They are some of the most common and diverse animals on the planet, almost pole to pole, and they're reptiles, and that's a preposterous thing for reptiles to do. And they have been this diverse and widespread and successful for 100 million years or so. For a long time. They keep doing new things. They keep recycling old things. And also, they're just so pretty. They're so pretty. They're so satisfying. I've got this is my little snake. They're just so aesthetically enjoyable. They are just absolutely fascinating animals. They are masterpieces of evolution, and they are an incredible representation and example of how evolution can take a novel concept and then do an extraordinary variety of incredible things with it. A vote for snakes is better than a vote for the other guy.
Slander.
So, and I have put the link to the survey. Now that's to the whole survey. The poll is at the end of it, so there is a whole survey in there. Go check it out. Isn't it delightful to get to cast your vote in a vote that is so low stakes?
Yep.
Let's have a vote that's fun.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Ugh. like he says, I'm not really sure which to vote for, but there's this cool Lego live stream across. I'm not seeing anything for Snake. I'm just saying, crocodilians
Now we have to do a
have the ability to build a Lego set because they've got fingers.
slam. Now
That's ableist.
That's July is Disability Pride Month. Not everybody can be dexterous and build Legos, but that doesn't mean that they're not worth your vote in the poll at the end of our survey.
This is a full-on side note. I don't remember what made me think of this recently, but crocodilian fingers are one of my favorites because they only have 3 claws on the first 3, and they've got 5 fingers on their hands, so they've just got clawless digits here that just are very floppy and adorable. And then they've only got 4 toes, but they've just lost the outer one, so they've still only got 3 claws on the back feet as well. And their hands and feet are so silly.
Yeah,
they're ridiculous. Like you get this big, powerful animal, and there's just like this jaw and these teeth and this tail that's just like a telephone pole of muscle. And then you got these little hands that are just like
bunk
with little chicken finger, ring finger, and pinky.
Honestly,
you're just goofy.
It's surprising that Crocs haven't ever gone limbless, or at least partially limbless. If not the way snakes have, then the way that like mosasaurs and whales were flippers and reduced, because they are so close to it.
Yep.
But those feet are doing something crucial and important.
And only one group has ever done that with flippers, and that they were successful.
Yep.
Like they went crazy with it, but it only really ever happened once, which is and they did it different. They did it different with their nose. They didn't move their nose back like almost every other group did that goes marine. Yeah, I saw one thing talking about that. That like, whales moved it back. Ichthyosaurs moved the nostrils back closer to the skull. I think mosasaurs also moved it from the tip of the snout. Marine crocs still have it on the tip of the snout for some reason.
Caleb says you're more likely to win if you wrestle with Crocs. That's true. All else being equal. Fair.
Yep.
Stephanie says, what do you say about Crocs' inability to climb trees like snakes, though?
They do climb trees.
Yeah, but not like snakes.
Not like snakes.
They're not good at it.
But they do climb trees. Baby alligators and baby crocs are actually quite well-known tree climbers. And they will sit on the branch so that they have a view of the environment. Crocodilians, surprisingly good climbers for how awkward their body seems. There's tons of videos out there of alligators climbing chain link fences. And not like baby ones, like full-on adult alligators just flopping their way over. So they are surprisingly mobile. They're persistent. That's what they are. They're persistent. They don't give up. Short limbs are not going to keep them from getting up that tree.
That's true. Fair. Listeners, thank you so much for joining us and celebrating our 8-year anniversary with us. We have had an incredible time making this podcast and making these new plans. We're so excited to share these new projects with you. I put the link to the survey. I'll put the link in there again right before we leave, and then it'll be up on our website. We'll announce it on the podcast episode that comes out. It'll be in the episode description of the next podcast episode as well. The survey will be up for about a month or so, and then we'll bring it down and we'll review all of the details, and we will also announce the winner of the poll at the end of the survey. This is great. As always, before we officially wrap it all up, a reminder to how many people are in here right now? We've got over 60 people who are here. A reminder to all of you, dear listeners, that the Common Descent podcast and its various affiliate nonsense exists because of the incredible support that we get from our audience.
Yes.
Will and I put in a ton of work to make this podcast happen. We do that because we enjoy it and we love doing it. We think it's a whole lot of fun. It's great to be able to support each other and to work together in these projects, but the support that allows us to do these things comes from our audience.
Yeah.
And that is moral support. That is people's enthusiasm that lets us know that they're excited for the things we're doing. It's the feedback we get, positive and constructively dissenting
Yes.
feedback. Our audience over and over again consistently shows us that they are willing and interested to help us continue to improve and continue to make our products better. And we are overjoyed to be able to provide free science educational content for anybody of essentially any age and any level of interest to engage with and enjoy. Our audience is where we get our ideas from, the things that we know people want to hear about. 100 people requested the fungi episodes.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And on top of all of that, Patreon.
Yes.
We are doing extraordinarily well on Patreon, and that is incredible. We've got 600 or so patrons supporting us now, and it's a joy. It's super exciting that people are willing to put their time and their effort and their energy, and in some cases even their money, to helping us to make Common Descent continue to be a thing.
Yeah. No, it's incredible, both from the fact of like we get to do something that we enjoy and that's fun, but also that is important to us, like science education and accessible science education. So the fact that we haven't had to monetize every aspect because of the support you all give us, the fact that we don't have to just guess because you all are letting us know, it's really kind of the ideal dream scenario, and it's in huge part thanks to you all that it is such. So I all the gratitude. That's all I have to give.
The community on our Discord is incredible. Really fantastic community. If you're not on there, consider joining it.
It's so much fun, and it's just such a delightful atmosphere. Yeah. So it's wonderful.
We are hoping that we will get to build an equally fun and engaged community on Blue Sky now that we're on there. We've got more YouTube stuff coming up. So it's going to be, we're having a great time. As a reminder, new episode comes out this evening. We're going to be at ETSUCon and DragonCon in March and August, respectively. We're going to do some museum meetups with fans because that'll be fun. We are now on Blue Sky. The listener survey is up, and you will be able to access it from our website and stuff very soon. Transcripts are happening, and maybe we might ask for assistance in editing them. April 2025, Silver Screen Science, Planet of the Apes.
It's going to be so good.
Somewhere around a similar time, Leaf It to Us, brand new podcast, plant-based discussions with Nora and Allie. And February 1st, right, wait for it. What's happening? Now, Bricks with Bask is officially live. I'm going to put some links in the chat here. There is a link to the listener survey, and here is a link to the first episode of Bricks with Bask. Check those out. Thank you, as always, for your support. Now we are doing the rambly thing because I never know when to end because people are saying so many nice, lovely things in the comments here.
I'm so just I'm so happy. It's so good.
It's great stuff.
Hey Cole, you could have kept that to yourself. I didn't need to know.
We
were cool.
We can end the poll right now.
We were cool.
We can end it right now. Clip while you're behind.
Lexi gave Bricks with Bask a like though. So
I saw that.
That balances it
All
out.
right, that's pretty good.
Cosmically.
All right, let's get out of here. Thank you all so much. Sign off phrase.
Bye everyone.